Now that we got this boat off the water after we demonstrated it, we got it back inside so we can do a condition review. We're gonna look at the gel coat closely, we'll take a hard look at the interior, and that'll be it. So let's get started. Boy, so they really got me packed in here, but that doesn't matter, so we're gonna look closely at everything. So this is a one-owner boat. It came from Table Rock, which is a nice freshwater lake just south of us at the Lake of the Ozarks. So we're gonna stay above the rub rail to the starboard side. You gotta love these new blower vent covers. The old ones had fiberglass, kind of like these. And what happens is they'd always come undone, and they were siliconed in, and they had tread lock on the backside. Just wasn't near as awesome as these new ones. Right here we have our shore power cord, and once we get in the inside, we'll talk about how that works. It's hard to tighten with one hand. Here we go. Just plug the boat in. Now these windows are very, very nice. This is just a plate that goes over the top of it, so sometimes if you hang a bumper or someone ties up next to you to bang into it, it's kind of bad. We got a couple little spots right here, and I saw one tiny one on the back that can be wet sanded out. If there's anything at all, I'm pointing it out. I did turn the lights on just so that we can see them a little better than we could outside. I'll cover all the canvas. And I'm going to show that to you now. The bow cover, or the cockpit cover and the bow cover are in phenomenal condition. Told you. All right, dropping down to the stem. Everything looks great up here. Dropping down whole side, starboard side, the keel, which is the bottom, the reverse chines, which is the outside, and the lifting strakes, which are these lines. All that's in great shape. Table Rock, like the Lake of the Ozarks, is a very deep lake, so it's really hard to kind of bang the boat up. These are just graphics. Everybody's different. Some people like them. Me, I'm not a big graphic guy. Any nicks in the graphic, to me, the boats look beautiful if we just take those off. It doesn't cost anything, and it just gives you that classic clean look. Because even if you replace them, it's going to happen again. There's our captain's call exhaust. There's that other little bitty nick. Tap this right there. Just barely in the gel coat, so that can wet sand out. So looking at our trim tabs, we got a little calcium lime on the drive, but there's absolutely no electrolysis. Skag's in great shape. Cavitation plates in great shape. All of our anodes are beautiful because the boat wasn't stored in the water. As you can see, there's no hole stain or anything like that. Propellers look excellent. Even the rub rail itself around the platform is excellent. G.G. Schmidt industrial ladder. Coming around port side, this Sundeck logo right here. See just the sticker, the line came off the bottom. Staying above the rub rail. Hanging a buoy right here, a couple little nicks, itty bitty in the graphic. Notice when I do this, look at the great shine to the gel coat. Like it was definitely well stored, well cut. It's got all the covers, and it's also got a full mooring cover. A little bitty chip right there. Now, when I say chip, that sounds, it really has a negative connotation. It's in the sticker, not the gel coat. So dropping down whole side, port side, as you can see, as I get real low here, everything is in awesome shape. Stem's great. Hit to tap this so I can see. There we go. Chips in the graphic. It's extremely well kept. You can always tell the difference between a boat that's been made to look shiny, like waxed, versus a boat that's just always been shiny. See how there's not a drastic transition between where the cover, snap cover was, and the rest of the gel coat? It's just great. So we got our big extended swim platform here. It's not what we see that makes boat great, it's quality of the hardware that holds it together, and that's where Sea Ray sleeps and bounds above many manufacturers. This is a resin transfer molded part, it's very thick. It's on a full piano hinge with washers and lock nuts instead of your little kitchen cabinet dinky tiny hinges. Like Sea Ray and Cobalt are my favorite boats from a build quality standpoint. See back there on that Cobalt as an example, full piano hinges. Same way here. 3/16 stainless on all our metal. See the big hinges? We have a transom shower back here. Now let's jump inside and take a look. And I'll start this over so I don't have crazy long videos to edit. So on the bigger Sea Ray models, they kind of quit going away. They kind of quit using the pop-out cleats for good reason. See, the pop-out cleats, if you're in a lake like ours where the water's extremely rough and great big boats are going by, what happens is it squeezes underneath it the metal brace for the top brace. So when you get big boats going by, it pulls this and actually stress cracks fiberglass around it. So Sea Ray quit doing that on the bigger boats. So right here, this gas assisted strut, we need a 3M it back there. Almost looks like I had foam tape. We can fix that, no problem. All the vinyl's in truly exquisite condition. So I did find out on our interior lighting, I said in the demonstration it's like a two-way, which really is a three-way switch. So you have just normal courtesy lighting, walk through, up around the helm. Then you also have this awesome blue LED gunnel interior lighting right there. So this seat, no it doesn't. No, it's stationary. So coming in here, very roomy, great seating configuration. Lots of lounge room. So this right here is your table. If you don't want this in here, it just comes out and it's, you know, facing seats. Or this cushion unsnaps from the underside, see, like that. And the table just raises. You don't have to get a different pole. It just lifts up to make a table. So taking a hard look at all the vinyl, then we'll come back and look at the motor. Getting our battery switches there, then we got a little storage here. All the carpet snaps out and it's a full fiberglass floor. Again, full piano hinges. This does have the cockpit refrigerator. So back to that shore panel thing to the outside of the boat I mentioned. Trash can. We plug in the shore power and it has a maintainer on the batteries and it keeps everything in our refrigerator cold. Now these aren't real ambient, meaning it's great for condiments. It's not great for keeping your drinks ice cold. So with the factory tower, and look, this is not anodized or it's not oxidized whatsoever. It's in great shape. Bimini top's built in and extends forward from it, but nothing weird or funky on this. And with the factory tower, it's got the factory big, thick, heavy windshield frame made to support it. I mean, look how thick the metal is all through here. So we've already looked at the helm extremely well. The boat's yacht certified. Down in here, there's also a place to plug your phone in to hook it up to the stereo and or charge it. Got a fire extinguisher here. This seat, I don't know if I'm, so if you want to lounge forward, you can, like so. Let me tap this because I can't see it. There we go. Can't remember if this opens or not. No, I don't think it does. There's these speakers always did this where the tweeters are, because it's like covered in aluminum foil, so to speak. So normally you just get that all off and then they look better. So it looks more like this. Factory sub. Also to the port side, we have another place to plug a phone in, which is a good idea. So you're not fighting over the phone charger like my kids do in the car. So there's that in the middle position. Or if you're doing water sports, you can put it all the way like that. And I've seen people in this model, because some people at the boat ramp have the same one. Oh, be darned. Look how big that storage is. But I'll see them, they'll have this, and there's like a lady that lays backwards. Then he'll see it like his oldest kid standing right here, kind of watching. It's People at the boat ramp have this exact same model. They use it all the time. We literally see them all the time. Like, I don't know how they have any money because they're always on the 290C rig Sundeck they own. So then here's our table. Oh, the racks are still brand new on the tower. So we can put the forks in here to put our wakeboards and such. I don't know what these are. Let's see. More. Lord, this thing's got a lot of stuff in it. So it's got them for both sides, and it's got the actual Sea Ray logos that go on it. I wish there was a good example, but when you put the forks on here and you slide the wakeboard in, there's this cool Sea Ray logo that goes on them, and that's all in here too. They must have like a smaller slip to pull the boat in, so they didn't want them hanging off the side to catch it. So this has the pump out porta potty. I did shove all the covers in here, but you got a little pull out washer, you got a light, a mirror. It's actually roomy in here. A full custom mooring cover. I think that's an Aurora cover, which is a place down at Table Rock. They do great work. They're just very expensive. So like on our lake, anywhere that you get gas, they'll pump your toilet out for free when you get gas. Otherwise, you know, outside of the boat over here, there's a cap and they run a suction hose and a water hose to flush and pull. Now, if there's nowhere to do that and you still plan to use the head, you can. You just take these hoses off in the back, just undo them, and then right down there's a cap. So there's clips right here on each side. You'll unsnap them, the lid comes off, and then you carry it. It's literally kind of like a waist suitcase. That's not normally what I say, but I'm trying to keep it professional. Shut. There we go. Now this is a magnetic latch. It works perfectly right now. I usually have trouble with them. And because that, it's just perfectly freaking aligned. Even the gap's right, see? But if you don't, sometimes you just gotta kind of wiggle this to get that to collapse in there. But it's absolutely stellar. I'm sorry I keep playing with it, I'm just amazed. This also, so it was Cobalt or Formula that patented this. Cobalt, I believe, but it ran out, so everybody has it. So to uncollapse your windshield, you pull out on the pin. Let me tap this, get it over here, right here. There's the waist. If it had satellite radio, that's where that would have been. And then there was another option for like a GPS antenna there. All right. Oh, the anchor button. So I edited it in the video and you'll notice in the demonstration that it's odd. This turns on those underwater lights back there. Two-way doors, blocks the wind. And then they have another door, this little side kind of resting cabin for little guys. Our stereo's in here. Now when we plug in our shore power, oh man, all the lights work in the interior even. You'll see this comes up, you turn it on, and then you got your battery charger, your outlet, so your refrigerator's on that. Accessory if you're just listening to the radio, there we go. Right here, we have extra keys, which is really nice. CD player. Most people, no CD in it. Most people just plug their phone in. If you need more room or even use this for storage, you can lift this up. A lot of people didn't even know this. I get so many of them in. This is never opened, and I bet it was never opened either. So you get some more storage down in there. That goes way up in. So you can actually stretch out and take a nap. You know, if someone kicks you out of the house, it happens on occasion. Nothing to be embarrassed of. Coming up into the bow, very nice and wide. One thing I really love is how they made the headrest so much wider in this boat. And then you got the flip up armrests, so you can completely lounge about. Let's go and see. So this side doesn't have storage underneath it because that shoots up underneath. This side does. Let's flip this up. See? Now, the way Sea Ray does everything, I don't have problems with these, the way they make them. But unless people like give it hell to collapse them, you'll see them up here yanking on them. You don't do that. You just look at my hand. Pull. That's it. Squeeze. If you just start trying to get it to go down, you're gonna break it. Pull. See how easy that is? All right. Very important when you're looking at boats, always look at the tops of the seats. That's where they get sunburnt, faded, cracked, split. And it is in great shape. There's a little tiny rub right here, like a rope rub or something that could be vinyl repaired. There we go. So I like this storage. They started doing this. You push that and it holds itself open. Look how nice and clean it is in there. I know you can't smell in the video, but there's absolutely no funky smells. Not in the head, not under the seats. Another thing you can tell, a way you can tell when a boat is stored well, is you look underneath the seats. It sounds stupid, but you see how there's no like water damage on the, where they staple all the seams and stitching? It's great shape. So for stuff you use a whole lot, you got your storage in here. I think I got sidetracked from opening that, I'm sorry. Now let's go. Open this, then I'll show you. For stuff you use a lot, like on my lake buoys, wow. This is a great place to put it, or God knows what else. There's the water pump for the water tank. See, resin transfer molded products like this, it's not like a handmade piece. It's extremely perfect. Like, it's not thicker or thinner in any certain area. Full piano hinges once again. A lot of companies just use composites to do that. Gas assisted strut right there, and it is stainless. They even build the track for the storage out of the mold. Speaking of molds, see how shiny it is in here? So your higher end boats, how they're made is you have a hole, just like your cheap boats. And usually with a hole, they put the motor in, the fuel tank, the wiring for everything, and top of the boat on, screw the seats in, and it connect everything to the wires, and it's for sale. Your higher end boats like Sea Ray, they do it a little bit different. You get a hole, then they put a liner inside the hole, then they inject it, and there's resin points. You can find it underneath certain seats. When we look at the motor, I'll show you what I'm talking about, because usually I can find them in there. Then they put the motor, the fuel tank, the wires, etc., finish the boat. When you do it this way, it just makes for a lot better like ride quality, sound dampening. Sea Ray went in to call that a quiet ride technology or some BS sales pitch like that, but they've had it for years. They just came out with a name for it to give it a good marketing tactic. While I'm down here too, your seats, this is how you make it slide, okay? To make it lock into place is right here. If you don't want it, if you want it to swivel freely, loosen this, okay? Otherwise, it'll feel nice and tight in there. Now, floor storage. That's where the table can go up here. Once again, fully finished, absolutely beautiful. Super duper freaking clean in there. Stuff you don't use a whole lot can go in there. Coming up to the tip of the bow, above the stem, we have a cooler, anchor washer, cup holders, grab handles. There's no stress cracks in the fiberglass anywhere. If it's here, I completely missed it, but everything looks exceptional. So pull off the bow cover, sorry for swinging around. So we have an anchor and a bow boarding ladder. It's kind of an old timer thing that all boats should come with anchors. They don't. If it doesn't come with one, doesn't come with one, but this one does. Once again, it's nice and finished. Something I'll talk about up here. I've seen a lot of people, this will fly up and go down the lake because flush side, it's hard to do with one hand. There, flush side up. If it's not flush side up and you shut it, it's not hinged. See how this is sucked down in here? See my finger? When you got it the right way, it's flush. That's how you know it's shut. Now let's take a look at that motor. Be right back. I said that, be right back, because I didn't know if it was power or not, and it is. Man, this guy's worried about losing keys. He's got keys everywhere. All right. So power hatch. I got this camera resting on my belly. It works good to make the video smooth. It makes me feel fatter and hell. There we go. So this is a 496 mag, 375 horsepower, closed-cooled engine, dual batteries. Back to the liner thing real quick. See the injection points? They put caps on it. Usually the caps come off. Injection point right there. The funky circle right back there. There's a circle. Let me zoom in on one of them. Right there. So fully lined boat. Here you can see the edge of the liner. Right there. See raw fiberglass edge of the liner. So this has captain's call exhaust. Fuel tanks right there. Bilge is super clean, and we haven't cleaned it. Big thing to check on all 496s is if this antifreeze isn't real pretty and pink like that, something's wrong. It is a closed cooled motor, but a lot of salespeople tell their customers you don't have to winterize a closed cooled motor, or you can just hook a little hand pump right here and pump the water out. No, that's only like 90% effective. So by not doing it 100%, by draining the water cooler, the intercooler down here, you can actually freeze break a closed cooled motor, which should be an oxymoron, but it's not. So always make sure the antifreeze is real pretty like that. We test them with an antifreeze tester. So there's your automatic fire suppression system. Something else to point out. Most of the boats I sell have this sound dampening type material. That's great. It makes people feel good that it's got a sound dampening material. It really doesn't dampen sound that much, but typically we peel it off with a paint scraper because once it gets wet and hot, it just disintegrates. Why am I telling you all this? Because this is in beautiful shape. I'm gonna kick myself in the butt for kicking yourself. Yeah, you can kick yourself in the foot. You got 2 feet. But kick myself in the butt for future boats because usually this isn't real nice, and this is extremely nice. I really can't think of anything else. You know, when we ship the boats out, we take the carpet, any loose cushions, the covers, we roll them up and store them nicely. We take the tops down so they don't bang and clang. You know, bend, break, shatter, roll, whatever. I'm running out of cool stuff to say. But this boat's super nice. Like, seriously, I do love it. After driving it, I really, really love it. So I hope you like it. We'll see you on the water.